Hi, it's Tony, and you're in Pop Pop's workshop. A little bit ago, I got an offer to try to destroy some indestructible shoes. So the first thing I did was I wore them. I took them out. We had a project that we went to for a Saturday all day. I wore them all day, and normally when I wear new shoes, it's a nightmare because I've got diabetes. I have neuropathy in the feet. So anybody that's got that knows it's a lot of pain. I didn't have any shoe discomfort outside of my normal neuropathy discomfort. These actually wore fantastic. So on the upside, they're comfortable shoes for being safety shoes. This has got a steel toe in it. It's got a Kevlar sole. So now my challenge is to destroy these things. So we're going to try to figure out a few different ways to attack these things. I think we've got a good shot. I've got some tools that may do the job. I've got a couple ideas. I wonder what I should do first. Okay, I thought about it, and I've come up with a few things, but what I've come up with is specific to a wood shop. So some of the tests that you may see on Indestructible Shoes are for general, workplace or work sites, but I'm going to be wearing them in the workshop. So the things that are most potentially harmful to my feet in the workshop are what we're going to talk about. First off, this is about as big a nail gun as I use in the workshop. So it's not a framing nail or anything like that, but we use these a lot. And what would happen if this accidentally slipped out of my hands and did some weird firing thing when it hit my toes, right? Let's find out. First off, safety. All right, we're good to go. Let me get a pair of pliers. I might be out of nails on this one. Nope. We'll try two more. Watch your eyes. There it is. All right, so that one didn't penetrate, became a piece of art, evidently. This one just completely curled, and you heard, probably on the video, another one just shot off in the other direction. Thus the importance of safety glasses or face shield when you're nailing things in the shop anyway. But I think that pretty much determines a little damage to here, but no damage in there, and it did not penetrate. Now, bigger nail, I can't tell you, but I've seen videos where they just curl out as well. But if you're going to talk about getting penetration, to slip through something, to get past a crack or a defect in the shoe or a weak point, a smaller nail is going to do it better than a big nail. And those couldn't even begin to think about getting through. So, what's next? Okay, now for pounding or hammering devices, because we do a little bit of that in the shop. I have an assortment here. Of course, I've got a wooden mallet. That's not going to do anything, right? I don't want to break my wooden mallet trying to make a point, right? So, a dead blow hammer, do use that quite a bit. This is my framing hammer. Sometimes I might use this. This I probably rarely, on great occasions, for very specific things, would I break out an engineer's hammer. But we're going to use it just to make a point. So, in the shop, here goes the hand. Good thing I'm left-handed, right? All right, here we go. I didn't even feel that. There's no deflection. I can't feel it deflecting at all. Framing hammer. Nope. And it more bounce. The dead blow stayed put. This I'm bouncing back, so it's kicking back some of the energy. All right, here we go. I'm not feeling any difference. There's no deflection in that. I didn't feel it on my hand at all, and I have my hand up there. So what we did notice, the dead blow kind of stayed put when you hit, as a dead blow should. These, a lot of the energy from these two bigger hammers was getting pushed back because of that solid steel safety toe in there. So that's what you want to happen, is you want that to kick back and not fall on you. So this kind of represents if you were to drop a larger piece of wood. Unfortunately, Nana has had that happen. We were playing some very large maple, very heavy boards. They were probably 11 inches. They were almost the width of the planer, about 11 inches wide. They were a good 9 feet long, and they were 1.5 inches thick to begin with. So as we're planing them and moving them around, she actually had one slip and land on her toe and broke her big toe. This would have saved her toe. So, in the shop, yeah, hammers, things falling on your feet, you're safe. What else could I do? So from time to time, we have some limbs and stuff that Nana likes to turn into nice little artwork and things. She'll cut them up on there. Sometimes we'll go out and a pruner, or if it's a bigger one, yeah, we might use a hand axe. So since we might use it, let's see if it'll get through there. So, here we go. Well, I missed the shoe. Took a chunk out of there. I can fix that. It did just knock it off the side. All right, so we have cuts through the fabric. Scratches on the surface. Put a piece of wood in there. Nothing. Feel inside. No deflection. You can't tell I was beating on that with an axe. So, what's next? All right, you all know how much we use the oscillating tool and how much we love the Smithology blades. So, if I were to drop this, it doesn't have a paddle switch. It's simply on or off. If it got out of my hands, fell down, it could land on my toes with the blade running. What would happen? Let's find out. Whoops. Let me put my ears in first. ISO tunes for the win here to keep my ears protected. There we go. Well, we succeeded in flattening the tips on those blades. On the teeth, they are flat. But, hey, we managed to scuff the steel toe. But obviously that was a lot longer than I would keep my foot in contact with this thing if it were to drop on the floor. So I'd say that's a pass. Yeah. So, on a job site, you might have nails sticking up through boards, but here in the shop, we don't really use nails a lot. But what we do use is screws. So I've driven a few long screws through there, and they do a really nice job of penetrating the wood. So, what will they do to the shoes? That's all my weight on there. Here's what we've been testing. Now, so if I were walking along and I stepped on it would be less weight than what I just did. You would step along like that. And you notice they're not like sticking into my feet. I'm just walking and walking off of them. So, there you go. So, obviously, way more than what you would do in the shop if you accidentally happen to walk across a board that was down on the floor with the screw up. Now, you try not to do that in the shop. You try to be careful what you put, but sometimes things get away from you and you turn to grab them and you may step on them. But let's test an extreme version of what we just did. Okay, so we can take a look. There's the bottom of the shoes after I've been stepping on those screws with them. Nothing. Now, besides the steel toe, these do have a Kevlar insole in here. So that makes them puncture resistant. Not necessarily puncture proof, depending on what you're doing, all the circumstances. So we're going to put the shoe on here, and we are going to make an extreme example of it. Ready? Here we go. There's maybe a little puncture there. Let's feel inside. Let's see if I can drive it down a little bit more. There's nothing in that shoe. Probably can't see it, but it's so dark in there. But nothing coming up, and you can see it wasn't like flattening out. In fact, it's bending over the screws as I'm hitting them. So, Kevlar midsole, good. And you saw it deflect when I hit it with the hammer because I was past right here. You can see I've torn back. There's where the safety toe ends. So yeah, if something landed up here, it doesn't have a metatarsal guard, but it is protecting your toes. So this is doing everything I need it to do in the shop. And there, I don't have to worry about stepping on anything in the shop either. But maybe a couple other things I can do to extreme. All right, so as the last kind of option here in the shop, one of the things that we do use occasionally for certain things, very rarely, is an angle grinder. They're useful to have, but pretty rare. So this one doesn't even lock on. It's either an on or off. But in case I did push the little button and it was latched on and it got out of my hands, I'm gonna really try to cut through this thing to show how extreme it would have to be to actually get to your toes. So let's see. Yep, we got through it. Phew, should have worn my mask for that. You're never going to have that much contact on your foot for that long. So, indestructible for the things we do in the shop? Yeah, wait, there's one more thing I can try. Okay, the last thing I think of is maybe use Shoshugiban in your shop. I don't yet, but maybe I do. Shoshugiban. So yeah, barring any major Shoshugiban accident in the shop or a house fire, pretty indestructible. So you saw us put us through some serious, beyond reason damage. And it didn't hold up to a couple of those things. But a lot of the things it did hold up to. So basically around the shop, what I'm going to be putting my feet through in here, these will protect them. They are, in that sense, indestructible for what I need them to be indestructible for. It's going to protect my feet because, as I've said, I've got neuropathy. Any damage to my feet could lose to a loss of foot or worse. So yeah, I'm definitely getting me another pair since I've destroyed one of these. And Nana's going to get a pair too to protect her feet in the shop. So would I recommend these? Absolutely. Great shoes. They're comfortable, which I've never had in a safety shoe before. So kudos to Indestructible Shoes. They've really made a good product, and I recommend them for your shop as well. Thank you for taking your time to watch this rather long experiment. We never take for granted that you've spent your time with us, and we are truly grateful for that. So if you get a chance, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, all the good things, and we appreciate the time and you're doing so. But remember, you can do this.